"You are not Martha Jones," said the doctor as he stepped out of the scrambled egg membrane that blocked the door to the engine room. "No, Mr. Doctor. I am a slender machine in the shape of a flight steward." It bowed its head politely. "Well, hello anyways," said the doctor, clicking off his sonic screwdriver, spinning it in the air and then deftly dropping it into the inside of his pocket of his suit. Then he banged his head in the dark wooden ceiling. "Cramped in here, ain't it?" he said. "Reminds me a bit of the SS Great Britain. I heard lay a carpet on that. You're a Bronx 56, aren't you?" "Indeed, Mr. Doctor," said the machine, "though I have been remodeled for this voyage with at least a countenance." "Good for you," grinned the doctor. "I was going to say you were a bit old-fashioned for the 40th century, even when it is a retro like this place. But those occupants of yours, they don't half look like they hurt." Your machine bent to examine its own battered body. The once highly polished chrome of its chest was smeared purple and black, where it had been charred by flame. One slender arm was still retained its original elegant shape, the other had been badly twisted by the fire. The machine hesitated, as if it could think quiet what to say. It'd probably be protocol to stop its slinging off the passengers or crew, though the doctor, so if one of them had done this, it would be fine to say so. "You don't have to tell me you don't want to," said the doctor kindly. The Bronx 56 stood stiffly upright and was probably in need of an oil. The doctor would just find out where Martha was, have a word with the brilliant captain, and then maybe they could do a quick repair. He really liked to fix things. "There was," said the machine, hesitant. It took a full second before this selected the right words. "An altercation, Mr. Doctor. It was no consequence." "Well, that's very brave of you," said the doctor. "Now you seem to know who I am, so I'm guessing you've met my friend Martha." "Indeed, Mr. Doctor. I have had the pleasure." "She is nice, isn't she?" said the doctor. "Clever and able, and she's got lovely hair, mind you. She likes to talk back to those older and more expenditures, but I was the same age as her. She'll grow out of it in time. She's 300. Where can I find her?" "Last time I saw Miss Martha, she was in the cocktail lounge, Mr. Doctor," said the machine. The doctor laughed. "I might have known. I don't wander off, I say. The moment she's out of sight, I'll have a white wine spritzer." "Beg your pardon, Mr. Doctor, but Miss Martha ordered a measure of hydrogen hydroxide in liquid form." "That's scum. I can't believe she found a bar and got served in less than 30 seconds. "Beg your pardon, Mr. Doctor?" A terrible thought struck the doctor. His eyebrows pressed together as he scrutinized the machine. "How long has it been since you saw her?" he asked, checking the machine. "It had been 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 18 seconds since I last saw Miss Martha." "What?" said the doctor. 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 23 seconds. Really? You mean Martha was in that cocktail lounge for 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 29 seconds ago?" "Indeed, Mr. Doctor," said the machine. "Well, that's clever of her. It only felt like 30 seconds to me. I'm usually very good at this sort of thing. Being the last of the..." He grinned sheepishly. "Oh, never mind." He turned to examine the membrane of the scrambled eggs, blocking his way back to the engine room, probing it with his finger. It felt soft and warm and rubbery, but did yield to him. He buzzed the sonic screwdriver at it, and on setting 28, nothing. Setting 29, setting 41, did no good either. He said, turning back to the machine. That's a bother. So it only felt like 30 seconds to me since Martha stepped through, but it was really been 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 11 seconds, approximately. Beg your pardon, Mr. Doctor, said the machine. I do not understand. Ah well, said the doctor. There's an experimental drive in there. He indicated to the edgy doorway and his thumb, and it's stalled or something, so the engine room is now cut off from the separate pocket of time. But the engine room and the rest of the ship are running at different speeds. Which now I think about it is why it was so difficult to land here. The Bronx 58 considered this. Begging your pardon, Mr. Doctor, it said, I do not understand. Well, that's all right. It's a bit complicated, said the doctor. The engine room is running at a different speed to us out here, so when we're in there, it's like everything out here is moving really, really fast. Whoosh. And out here, it's like everything is moving really, really slowly. Like how time stretches out in a bit of after lunch break, but before home time. The Bronx 59 bowed his head. Beg your pardon, Mr. Doctor, it began. The doctor interrupted. Never mind that, he growled. And this is for my own benefit. It's because they're moving in different speeds that you get the skit of a scrambled egg between two. This means you can only pass one way through it. That is, you say, well, because I know you can only speed up in one direction, obvious. Really, because otherwise you'd be speeding down. I guess that great big downward waiting to be transmitted machine in there is something of a side transmitting down at normal speed. His eyes widened in horror. Oh, I hope whoever is in there doesn't notice the delay. That could be pretty nasty. He clapped his hands together. Never mind, nothing we can do about it just now, is there? I'll have to work it out. We get back in there somehow and find the first thing first, as I always say. So what next? What have I missed? He addressed the machine. What's Martha told you? She said, but Gabriel, the doctor will walk right into them. So the Bronx 56, doing quite a good impression of Martha's London accent. I volunteered to meet you. Gabriel, said the doctor. She called you Gabriel? Indeed, Mr. Doctor. That's her name for you? He laughed. I regret this is my decision, Mr. Doctor. The doctor realized he'd been rude, which was good for him normally. Indeed, he needed other people to point it out to him. Probably Martha's influence, he thought. He patted the machine fondly in a less blunt shoulder. Oh, don't say that. It's a nice name, Gabriel. I remember rightly. It means you're here to help us. And you are here to help us. Indeed, Mr. Doctor, said Gabriel. My function is to serve the passengers. I bet you do it brilliantly. What did Martha want you to warn me about? Said Gabriel, considered. As Martha did not ask me to warn you about anything, Mr. Doctor, I said I would escort you to the cocktail lounge. Right, said the doctor. I'm going to walk into them sometime, but so long as there's nothing you should be telling me. Checking, said Mr. Gabriel. Might I inquire as to your birth number, Mr. Doctor? My what? Said the doctor. Oh, I'm not a passenger, I'm just helping out. Gabriel considered this new fact. I have nothing I should be telling you, Mr. Doctor, it said. Okay, said the doctor wearily. Sure, he was missing out on something important. But he had things to be getting on with. Find Martha, find the brilliant captain, and work out a way of getting back to the engine room. And then point out the ship hadn't blown up by a point, but it could be fixed. Gabriel, come on, he said. You better take me to the cocktail lounge. Gabriel led the way along the corridor. They turned left, then left again, then right, and up a wide staircase into a dining room where the ceiling was a little higher and the doctor could be standing up straight. 2 row columns helped up the low ceiling, and the area at the far end of the room was free of columns and which probably allowed for dancing. Stood in the space, definitely not dancing, were 2 badger-faced people in spacesuits. The doctor had met a lot of different species, but he couldn't remember any of them looked quite like humans with badger faces. Which meant what with the mouthless men downstairs, all he could make some educated guess about what sort of creature they must be. It would help in working out what might be doing aboard the Brilliant and the Badgers. Each wore a thick gold earring in their left ear. They both had skulls and crossbones crude painted on the chests of their battled spacesuits. And both brandished heavy space guns. The 40th century was quite a vogue of old-school piracy in space, recalled the doctor. Badger faced one of the just bit more distinctive than the ones he'd encountered before. "Hiya," he said to them, keen to appear friendly. "What, have I missed tea?" "Thought Dash drowned for the one already, Archie," said one of the Badgers. She had gruff and female voice and noticeable accent, maybe home countries, even Rosemary. The doctor realized that she wore pink pastel lipstick around her hairy styled mouth. "That Dash done for the own and all joust," said the other Badger, raising his heavy space gun. He had the same accent, more broad, southern tapped in, like the pirate of old movies. "Hang on a tick," began the doctor, but he was too late. Archie shot Gabriel squarely in the chest, and Gabriel disappeared into a ball of pink light. When the light died away, there was nothing left to see of Gabriel. Just a metallic tang in the air. He had completely obliterated. "That was a bit," began the doctor, tailing off as the two Badgers pointed their heavy space guns at him. He tried to disarm Goofy's smile. "Wasn't it?" "What are you, then?" said Archie, the Badger space pirate. "Me?" said the doctor. "I'm no one important," he grinned. "Well, we're all important, aren't we? But we mean I'm nobody that you need to worry about." "Can I kill him, Archie?" asked Joss gruffly, his wet nose twitching with excitement. "He doesn't have to, you know," said the doctor, told her. "I might have skills, stuff." "What sort of stuff?" said Joss. The doctor wondered what his name was short for. And once it was a good friends with the Josephine. "Oh, he said. "I can do tricks, make stuff, I know a few jokes." "Ah," said Archie excitedly. "Go on, tell us a joke." "Okay," said the doctor. "A clear one," whispered Joss. "Oh," said the doctor. "Okay, he racked his brain." "Ah, got one. Why are the pirates called pirates?" Archie and Joss confused in whisper before they both shrugged with each other. "We don't know," said Josh. "Why are pirates called pirates?" The doctor beamed. "Because there are," he said. And the two Badgers stared at him. "I don't get it," said Archie, stretching his head in hairy paw. "Can I kill him yet?" "I've got other jokes," said the doctor. "Funny ones." "Not just yet," said Archie. "Archie," said Joss. "I want to know where he comes from, don't we?" "Yeah," leered Archie. "Where do you come from?" "Just, back there," said the doctor, pointing to the stairs. "There was no one down there when I looked before," said Joss. "I was sort of hiding," said the doctor. "I thought it was a game." "It weren't no game," snarled Archie, and then he turned back to Joss. "Was it?" I reckon," she said. "Tid's gent showed us where he was hiding, and if we don't like it, he's got to show us, then we got to kill him." "Yeah," said Archie eagerly. "Yes, and does seem entirely fair, doesn't it?" said the doctor. He struck his head to his torso pocket. "Well, you might as well follow me, then." Ignoring the way he proceeded with them, with their guns, the doctor led them back downstairs, left then right again, to the passageway and ran past the door of the engine rooms, and he stopped because of the low ceiling. His mind was a whirl of thoughts and stratagems. He already worked out a couple of ways in which he might escape, but he needed to know what these pirates were after. So if it were time to test a theory, here's where we are, he said. What's this? Asked Joss wearily as he looked at the membrane blocking the doorway. It feels like scrambled eggs, doesn't it? Said the doctor. Scrambled what? Said Joss. Eggs, said the doctor. It's what chickens come from? You mean packing, said Joss, explained. And Archie, as they both stiffed their prowling, eggy material, yeah, I guess that, like that. And I was in there, said the doctor, hiding like I said. Huh, said Joss. Anyone else in there? Just the engineers in the engine room. They won't give you any trouble. The Badger's eyes lit up at this. They, just as he thought they might, as if they were to pinch their experimental drive. Joss thumped the skin and scrambled eggs with the end of his gun, and bowed to show what really done damage. She might be a lady badger, thought the doctor, but she could hold her own with the boys. Yet despite the force of the blow, the skin of scrambled eggs did not yield. How'd you get through? She said. I don't know, said the doctor. You can only go through one way, from the other side, that is. Huh, said Joss. It's gotta be some kind of barricade. We better tell Dash about this, said Archie. Yeah, said Archie. He alarmed his gun and scrambled eggs and fired 2 blasts. The skin fizzled with pink light in barely an instant, and otherwise completely unharmed. Bah, said Archie. That's no fun. So we should tell Dash then, suggested the doctor, just to get things moving. Yeah, said Josh. Good idea. The Badgers thought the doctor weren't exactly the brightest species he had encountered in his travels, yet Josh was eyeing him wearily, her dark eyes hidden with the tiny black stripes down her face. It made her expressions difficult to read, but the doctor could see a wildly predatory cunning. She might not be intellectual, but Josh could well mean trouble. What? He said incoherently as he could. There are people in there, she said. Yeah, said the doctor. And they can't get out, and we can't get in. Yeah. That's not fair. The doctor nodded kindly. Life often isn't, he said. It's one of those things. What are we going to do, Josh? Said Archie. Josh considered scratching her hairy chin with her paw. We gotta even things up a bit, she said. She ushered Archie and the doctor back along the passageway towards the ballroom. She turned and fired her gun at the ceiling above the door in the engine room. She kept her claws and trigger so the stained burst of pink energy crashed to the woodwork, wisping smoke, and began to curl in the ceiling. But then there was a flicker of bright flame. A shum. A heavy metal fire door crushed down in front of them and blocking a few of the corridors. Oh, clever, cooed the doctor. He rapped at the fire door with his knuckle. It's a bondage of a low, heavy note. The fire door had been locked off the corridor so no one can get through. None can get in, said the Joss, and none can get out. So that's fair in a way. A stalemate, said the doctor. Speak for yourself, warned Archie, prodding him with the gun. The engineers will off to eat them sometime, said the Joss, and we'll let them get hungry, and then we'll talk terms. The doctor thought the best not to explain that the time difference, the engine room, and the Badger pirates could starve the engineers for days and days, but the engineers themselves would only seem like a few hours. He also wondered if the engineers ate food, what with them having no mouths. Perhaps they just plunged themselves into the mains and blocking doors wouldn't bother them. Right, said the doctor. Well, that was fun. Now I was going to have a word with the captain, and then I thought I'd just poked him with the gun. You're not leaving my sight, Starshine, she told him. Okay, said the doctor, gently moving the gun aside so that it didn't point right at him. Your drive, so where are we going? You're going to sit here in the bar while all the other prisoners, said Joss. Sounds very sociable, said the doctor. He was itching to find out if Martha was okay, so there didn't seem to be much point in protesting. Archie and Joss escorted him back to the corridor, then left again. and right and up the wide staircase to the dining room, and passed through the door that blocked the room to the small cocktail lounge. Another gruff-looking badger pirate guarded about 2 egg-shaped tentacle ballum prisoners who huddled in front of the great bay window and that looked out of the Orgali galaxy. Martha was nowhere to be seen, but the doctor bit his lip. If the badgers didn't hold her prisoner, she might still be hiding somewhere. He didn't want to get her in trouble by asking if they'd seen her. "This is cozy," he said. "You must be Dash. Joss and Archie have been telling me all about you." The third badger pirate leered at him. He had the same gold earring in his left ear and the same skull crossbones on his chest of his spacesuit. He seemed older and sturdier than the 2 comrades. He leered, with the same gruff hemisphere accent. "And who are you?" Archie nudged Joss's ribs. "We never asked him his name," he said. "That's okay," said the doctor. "You had more important things to worry about. Hello, I'm the doctor." "I'm not important. I'm not in any way. Everyone else. How's everyone else here?" The ballum murmured quietly, and that they were more fine. All they were begging held prisoners and locked rather at home. They wore the latest fashion and held pretty drinks in their tentacles. If anything, there was 3 badger pirates who looked totally out of place. The cocktail lounge was a place for wearing ties. Joss explained to Dash about the door in the engine room. Dash listened keenly, all the time watching the doctor. The doctor tried not to notice. Dash seemed the brightest of the bunch, and was the badger talking to him. The doctor wandered over to the fallen prisoners. "You sure everyone is all right?" he said, and he tuttered and said that they were fine rather rudely. "All right," though the doctor reelected himself. The bright orange fallen woman in the last middle age came over and offered him a plate of cheese and pineapple sticks. "Thank you very much," he said, taking 2 sticks at once. "I can't remember the last time I had these." "I'm Miss Worthington," said the ballum lady, explained, not nearly as rudely as the other passengers. You'll be Martha's friend." "The doctor?" Silence roared Dash across the room. The doctor was nothing but nodded at Miss Worthington. She only laughed and rolled her large eyes. "Oh, don't worry yourself. These poor lambs, dear," she said, fluttering the tentacles of badgers. "They're just a bit of nuisance." "I'm warning you," growled Dash, pointing his gun at her. "See what I mean, dear?" said Worthington lightly, again offering the plate of cheese and pineapple sticks to the doctor. "Have another of those. You look like you need filling up." "I really don't think you should be antagonizing them," said the doctor told them. "They have big guns, stuff like that." "Oh, I know," she said. "It's such a bore." The Dash stalked over the proud Worthingtons with a hairy paw. "What are you calling me?" he sneered. "I'm sure she didn't mean it," said the doctor gently. Dash turned to him angrily, but the doctor held his gaze. After a moment, Dash's shoulders shrugged. "We're not a bore. We're badgers," he said. "I know that," said the doctor. I'll tell her." "Good," said Dash, glaring at Miss Worthington and stepped back to the comrades. "You know, you need to be careful," said the doctor, told Miss Worthington quietly. She laughed loudly so that the badgers would hear. The doctor thought she might even have done it on purpose. "But they really are such bores," she said. "What?" roared Dash. "Now wait," said the doctor. "Oh, they are," said Miss Worthington. "You know they are." "Right," said Dash, raising his heavy gun at her. "She didn't mean it," said the doctor. "Oh, I did, dear," laughed Miss Worthington. "No, don't," said the doctor. Too late. Dash had fired his heavy gun, and Miss Worthington was soon engulfed in a dazzling pink light. She just had time to roll her eyes widely as the doctor say, "You see, the light consumed her utterly."